Well, hello. Welcome to the next episode of Fudgy Insights with your host, Jen.
And Jesse. Today, we're going to be talking about that first sale.
The sale. It's that sale that you make when you create something, when somebody will actually pay money for something you've made, and you'll never forget that. So we want to take this opportunity to talk about our experience with the first sale, as well as, can you make a sale? Do you have a business? Is it a hobby? We don't know.
So let's kind of pick that apart like we like to do. Jen gets a little ahead of herself and then we got to pull it back. So
sorry, I'm overly excited about everything.
Let's first talk about the difference between a hobby and a business. So really at the heart of it, what is a business?
I think a business is something you can go to, something that you make money off of.
Pretty much. Let's just kind of pick it apart a little bit more. Really, I think at the heart of it, we're talking about a business is anytime somebody will pay you for your goods or services. That is about the most simplest form. So anything from the oldest profession in the world, prostitution, to us selling our brigadeiros to people. Anytime and anything in between. It's a good or a service that somebody's willing to pay for. Now, that really is the flip of the coin to a hobby, correct?
Absolutely. I have many hobbies, and I thought I could be able to generate income with all of these. Like, what do you mean? I paint, I write. Well, so I took on painting. So I'm going to give you a quick little story about when a hobby, unfortunately, might not be a business, at least according to those closest to you. So several years ago, I was home and it was pretty late, couldn't fall asleep, and we're just flipping through the TV channel, and all of a sudden I see this guy, has an afro, white guy, and he's painting. Very soothing voice, little trees, the streams. And for those that don't know who this individual is, I'll give you a clue. Name rhymes with Bob Ross. I had never seen this individual. I never heard of him. I was memorized. And then Jesse gives me the whole backstory as to.
I mean, I knew who he was. I had seen, his shows way before. But, I mean, it's possible. Jen did spend a bunch of time in Brazil, living there. So maybe you never saw it there.
Yeah, and I didn't know what art was.
That's true.
I think that was the other part, is that I thought art was for the wealthy. That why would I go see a painting, and how do you even paint? Like, it was just so many different things that in my mind, it just wasn't for me. So we watch Bob Ross, and I say to Jess, I'm like, look, I want to try this. Like, I'm always so anxious. I'm always super stressed that maybe this will be a good therapeutic release. So the next day we go to our local art supply store, buy some canvases, some paints, and just feeling super inspired. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to create something. I do. I make this little painting. I thought my parents would love it. It was a little shoe with a Brazilian flag on the beach in a boat. And I'm so excited, so proud of myself. I don't even know how much time I spent doing this.
It was a lot of time and getting settled and like learning to use the paints and the excitement.
I was so pumped. And Jesse, being the nice person he is, she's like, oh, this looks great, fantastic. Maybe you have a gift. And I'm just trying to stroke my ego. Well, that ego was quickly burst when I gifted my first painting to my parents. And I give it to them, and I will never forget that. My mom says to me, don't quit your day job. So I did not quit my day job, even though after I finished that first painting, I'm like, I think I have a future here. I think I would love to do this for a living. I would be, 10 times calmer, and it gave me an outlet to express myself and release some frustration and anger, but I guess it didn't translate so well when it came to something you'd want to put on your wall. And for many years, I continued just painting here and there, and I decided that instead of buying art for our house, I would create it. So our entire apartment is filled with Jen's originals. But unfortunately, nobody wants to buy them. I do have some friends who have free commissioned my paintings. But it always warms my heart when I go to their house and my painting is in their living room or in their entryway. So they see the value in what I created. Or maybe they're just really good friends. I don't know. But I'll take it. But that to me was very clearly a moment where I realized painting for me is a hobby.
So there we have it. A good or a service that would be paid for or compensated for.
Jen's painting apparently is not one of them.
So when you start thinking about hobby versus business, think about that. It's a simple definition, but it's a good approach. So if you're going to put your time and effort into something, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having hobbies. And it's actually been proven. It's proven in our own lives. It is very healthy to have these outlets.
It's important.
Whether it's art, writing, drawing, even video gaming. You know, whatever it is to take your mind off of certain things at times, that's healthy. But it doesn't necessarily make it a business.
So what does make a business? Well, then we've experimented with many other things. And when we created Clado, we made these little chocolate truffle balls, which are known as brigadeiros. And how do you spell them, Jesse?
Klado.
Brigadeiros. Close that up. Klado. Give you a second. Okay, we're back. So we created these chocolate truffle balls, and there was a local event. It was a farmer's market in my hometown, which is in upstate New York. It's a tiny, tiny town. It was 4th of July, actually. It's 4th of July. So we're coming up on the anniversary of it.
Yeah.
Yikes. So we had no idea whether people would pay for these. We used to bring them to Jesse's parents and my parents, and it would be well received.
Well received, yeah. But like anything else, you know, somebody making a dessert and bringing, oh, that was nice of you to bring. You know, people would pick at it. We thought there's a chance there, but nobody was buying it at the time. They weren't saying like, you know, it wasn't like, hey, I'll buy a box from you.
No, absolutely. And it was to the point that we enjoyed making it together, and there wasn't a brigadeiro purveyor in the States. There hasn't, and there still isn't, and that's why Clado will soon be synonymous with brigadeiro. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. And we saw that as an opportunity. So we went to this farmer's market on the 4th of July. We made hundreds.
I don't know how many.
And
we made them with because it was 4th of July, we made them with the patriotic flags. And we put flags in every single one of them with the patriotic colors too.
The red, white, and blue. So we made them themed.
Yeah.
And we were so excited, and the entry to vend there was, I think it was $25.
Yeah,
So we said, you know what, it's a low entry to market. Well, why not? So we get a tent, we get a table, we drive 2 hours with our brigadeiros in the backseat of the car. We're ready to debut this to the world. We're so excited. Well, we set up.
Oh, it was also, and this seems to be a theme recurring for us for whatever reason. It was, of course, 4th of July, summertime, but it was 100 degrees. Easily.
So here we are. We set up our entire tent. We're ready to go. People start coming by. Okay, and we had priced them, I want to say maybe $2 each. I think so.
It was affordable.
It was reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So we assumed that this would entice people. Well, it didn't entice them, but to come by and ask us,
do we sell water? Which we did at the time.
But not enough. And as people are coming to buy water, we're trying to entice them. Oh, would you like to try a brigadeiro? And most of the time they'd say yes. And we would say, okay, that's going to be $3. And they were just like, oh, never mind, I'll just take the water. And that was occurring over and over and over. And at that moment, I wish we were a water stand, that we specialized in water, because we would have made a fortune.
Yeah. We made our money back in water sales, but not a hell of a lot in Brigadero
No.
sales that day.
I think we sold 2 out of 200. So here we are at the end of the night, packing our Brigaderos up, and I just felt defeated.
It was a low point. And we've had many low points. That was a low point for sure.
And at that moment, I felt foolish for saying, we have a business here that people would buy these. Like, why would we? I mean, we spent an entire weekend making them, the time and effort and love and the care. And I mean, we poured ourselves into these little chocolate balls and nobody cared. So at the end of the day, we're just giving them away to my parents, your parents, family, friends. And we almost started giving them away to the people that were at the 4th of July festival. But then we started thinking, is if we're giving our product out for free, well then we're just devaluing it even more.
Right.
And then why would they pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very tough day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was a long 2 hours going up, and it was an even longer 2 hours going back. But it's a good lesson to learn, which is just because your market, and literally it was a market basically at a festival, was not buying on that day, doesn't mean that you don't necessarily have a business.
You might just be in the wrong market, which is what we found out. So after that failed attempt of selling Brigaderos, we came back and we live right outside of New York City, and we started saying, well, maybe we're just targeting the wrong people. Maybe we're just in the wrong place, wrong time. It was 100 degrees. Do people really want to buy chocolate at 100 degrees? Not really. Well, water's a lot more attractive. And we said, let's give this one more go.
So about not even a month, was it a month later or something?
Yes.
It was a couple weeks later, we signed ourselves up for a market in Jersey City, which has a bit more of a lively crowd, you'd say. And it was a food market. It was our first real food market.
And it was expensive to enter.
Very expensive for our standards.
And just full disclosure, as we said, we want to give you the backstories and the insights of what really goes on. So I think we paid $250 a day.
Which, by the way, I think it's a good segue to one thing, just a kind of a side note, which is farmers markets, other markets, things that you may attend and buy from other people, other purveyors. Sometimes you may say to yourself, wow, those asparagus are so expensive, or so expensive to buy this or that, or the fruit or the bread. Take a step back sometimes and just to let you know that every one of those vendors probably has to pay for their table. And it could be a varied price. It could be a fixed price, $25, or it could be $500. We've even seen ones that are up to $1,000 for a table. So just think about that. That is going into the pricing of those people's products. And just, you don't have to buy everybody's products, but just think about that. Sometimes the pricing is based on having to buy your table, which we had to do in this case.
Absolutely. And we figured that we just want to see, can we just make our money back? And you start doing the math of, I sold 2 in our last event, and we had signed up for 2 days. So we are $500 in the negative before the event even starts.
That's a lot of Brigaderos to sell.
Yes.
But
we sold.
We sold a lot.
We sold out. And that event, a light bulb went off. Is that we have a product that people are willing to pay, which in turn means we have
a business.
So the road to figuring out whether you have a hobby or a business may not be the easiest, and it's definitely not going to be the most direct. But don't give up. If the first time you try to sell your product and it's not as well received as you'd hope, take a step back and say, maybe you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So to recap, hobbies are very good and healthy, but they're not always translating to a business. Businesses are when you finally have somebody buying your goods or services, and that's also a little bit disparate from hobbies. You can have both, you can have them intertwined, or you can have them separated. All of them are good and healthy.
And just don't give up. So keep at it, and we hope our story gave you a little bit of hope. Or if not, just stay in the hobby lane. That's what I learned with my painting. So either way. So until next time.
Fudge it till
Do you make it?